before we get started, I would just like to remind everyone that due to COVID-19 restrictions, this year's service is a private service for Legion members, and we would encourage the public to watch our service live on Facebook, or you will be able to watch it after through the Facebook Branch 333 page. If you do choose to remain here in Memorial Park to watch the service live, as this is a public space, please ensure you have a minimum 2 meters spacing between yourselves and other groups of attendees. Thank you. World War I, 1914 to 1918. Max Bannon. Charles Buchanan. Reuben Cargo. William Davis. D. Edward Jameson. Charles McCullen. Robert C. Kerr. Clarence Orr. Harold A. Mitchell. Harold Phillips. Ira S. Perico. John Sharp. Arnold M. Thurston. Charles Thistlethwaite. William Walker. Richard Wilcox. Charles McMullen. World War II, 1939 to 1945. Edgar Duke. Everett J. Fisher. David Graham. Coldwin Kennedy. Harold Mills. Jackson Stewart. Lawrence H. Thompson. They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them. Good morning, my name is Darrell Minifee. I am a retired sergeant from the Canadian Armed Forces. I was a communications research operator, and I am extremely proud to have served Canada for nearly 22 years. As a member of the Canadian Forces, I've spent 9 months in Afghanistan. I've served as a peacekeeper in Bosnia, and I have deployed on 5 naval vessels, including 2 U.S. naval ships conducting counter-narcotics operations in South and Central America. I have also spent 6 months near the North Pole at Canadian Forces Station Alert, providing overwatch of the Canadian North during the Cold War. Remembrance Day for me is about honoring the memory of all the military personnel who came before me. It is thanks to their heroism and selflessness that we live in a strong, democratic country that guarantees our rights and freedoms. This year we celebrate the 75th anniversary of the end of the Second World War by paying homage to those valiant Canadians who fought and fell to defend the freedom and prosperity of our allies so far from our shores. I want to tell you about the hardships that our veterans have suffered and their incredible courage, because their decision to serve our country meant enormous sacrifice. In wartime, young Canadians leave their families, friends, and communities, and our country for months and even years at a time to fight for freedom and for peace. They do so despite the very real threat of never coming home again. During the Second World War, more than 1 million young Canadians and Newfoundlanders, for Newfoundland and Labrador was not yet a province, put on the uniform of the Army, Navy, or Air Force and prepared to fight the enemy. 45,000 of those young Canadians never returned home from the Second World War. We also pay tribute on Remembrance Day to veterans of the Korean and Afghanistan wars. More than 500 Canadians lost their lives in Korea, and 158 Canadian Armed Forces members did not come back from Afghanistan. Many who did return carried the consequences of war with them. Haunting memories of their wartime experiences left many survivors with long-term physical, and psychological and emotional wounds. Undeterred by the horrors of conflict and war, generations of Canada's bravest and best have risked their lives for our freedom. They were determined to keep Canadians from harm, to defend our way of life, and to try and make the world a better place. That is something we must never forget. It is important that we recognize Canadian veterans for their unimaginable heroism and great sacrifices. Of course, military operations are not confined to foreign soil, nor are they limited to the past. Today, Canadian Armed Forces members continue to risk their own health and safety to protect others. While many continue to be deployed overseas on United Nations and NATO missions, others serve here at home. Some respond to natural disasters. Canadian Armed Forces personnel have dealt with devastating floods and forest fires and massive snowstorms across the country in recent years. Others have put their medical training to work to help fight a pandemic. Still others carry out life-saving search and rescue missions by air and sea. The Canadian Armed Forces responds to about 1,000 search and rescue calls each year. Whatever and wherever the need, Canadians can count on our armed forces to keep them and our country safe, just as our veterans did. Steadfast service to our country is the only common link that ties today's military members to those who came before us. Because we are all part of the Canadian family, and we are all in this together. There is no piece of poetry that has summed up remembrance quite so eloquently as our very own Canadian Lieutenant Colonel John McCrae's poem. In Flanders fields the poppies blow, between the crosses row on row, that mark our place, and in the sky the larks still bravely singing fly, scarce heard amid the guns below. We are the dead. Short days ago, we lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe. To you from failing hands we throw the torch. Be yours to hold it high. If ye break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders fields. At this point, I would like to thank the following organizations and people for purchasing a wreath which supports the Royal Canadian Legion Poppy Fund. Due to COVID-19 restrictions, they have been pre-placed. Government of Canada, Canadian Armed Forces, Province of Ontario, Royal Canadian Legion Branch 333, Veteran Widows and Widowers, Ontario Provincial Police, Grey Bruce Health Services, Municipality of Grey Highlands, Grey Highlands Fire Services, Sergeant Michael James Cottenden, Grey Highlands Secondary School, Prince Arthur Masonic Lodge, Grey Highlands Chamber of Commerce, McPhail Memorial School, St. John's United Church, Gentle Shepherd Church, Rock Mills Baptist Church, Southeast Grey Support Services, Fawcett Funeral Home, Flesherton Pharmacy, Highland Grounds, Colton's Garage, The Hill Family, Larry Booth, Feversham Agricultural Society, Foodland, Scouts, Cubs, and Beavers, Abate Chapter 10. It is the soldier, not the reporter, who has given us the freedom of press. It is the soldier, not the poet, who has given us the freedom of speech. It is the soldier, not the campus organizer, who has given us the freedom to demonstrate. It is the soldier who salutes the flag, who serves beneath the flag, and whose coffin is draped by the flag, and who allows the protester to burn the flag. God bless the soldier. I would like to thank all of those who have donated, helped organize, and attend this year's event. It has been a difficult year for many due to the COVID-19 restrictions. Unfortunately, we will not be able to invite anyone back to the branch after this service. Stay safe, and let's all look forward to a brighter future in years to come. Thank you.